Hey,
I'm Grace,
and I'm Nads,
and we're Self-Esteem Team.
We travel all over the country talking to young people and parents and teachers about mental health, body image, self-esteem, social media, exam stress and anxiety, all the topics we felt we needed education about when we were younger but didn't have.
That's right. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about stress in teens. So, Nads, when you were a teenager, what did you stress about? And maybe what do you think is different today?
I feel that the things that I stressed about when I was younger were not having a voice and trying to find it in terms of I didn't feel that school celebrated individuality or difference. And I wasn't really educated about how to find that, and internet wasn't what it is today. I didn't have social media, so that left me feeling quite isolated and alone because I didn't feel that I fit in. So yeah, I would say fitting in was the biggest stress that I had when I was at school.
Okay, makes sense.
And today, I think it's pretty similar in terms of everyone wants to be unique, but also the same as their peers in equal measure, and that's a really tricky balance to strike. But I think it's amplified with social media, like I just mentioned there, because you can't experiment and make mistakes and do wrong things without it being documented.
Yeah.
And I think I perhaps had the freedom to do that exploration without it coming back to haunt me today.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, it's really interesting because I think my concerns were kind of similar. But I also remember having no real thought about what would happen next. So all of my worries and my stresses were really in the moment. And even though that's like something that people talk about now, like live in the moment, you won't have any concerns. And whilst I do buy that to a degree, I also think that you can still freak out about stuff in the present.
Totally.
Right?
Totally. I don't think, I worried about stuff outside of that moment.
Yeah.
Either.
But I do think today teens worry more or have more things to worry about outside of school life. And I think sometimes as adults it's easy to forget that we do live in a really stressful climate, even if it's like politically and in terms of financial stability for our country and all of those things. I think it's easy to think that teens aren't affected by those things, but the conversations that we have tell me that they are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like 14-year-olds telling me that they're worried they won't be able to get a good job when they're older or support themselves. Like that is just not something that was on my agenda when I was younger.
And the thing, again, it sort of links back to the accessibility of information online.
Yeah.
I wasn't exposed to that kind of news, as it were, I think, when I was younger. Whereas now, because everything is at a click of a button or, popping into your timeline, you do see things like, well, even if I do go to uni, even if I do get a good job, I might not be able to afford my rent at the end of the day. Or to put food on the table, like you say, because of the current climate and their issues that drip feed into, like, a teen's life like that. I don't think they did once upon a time.
So, if those are the things that are stressing us all out, or stressing out young people in particular, what can or should they be doing about it?
That's a very good question. I'm a big believer in terms of managing stress, having an outlet. For me, if I don't sort of exercise those demons, as it were, or externalize what's going on internally, I can whip myself up into a frenzy and see scenarios that haven't already happened and live in a worry bubble. So yeah, like I say, finding an outlet for me was really crucial, and I found that through writing and also music. I used to go to gigs. I need to go to more gigs, in fact. But I don't know, what would you say was your outlet?
Like I played a lot of sport, loads of different sports, and music and creativity. Like, I didn't actually feel like sport was an outlet for me. It was a distraction, but it didn't help me process. It was a positive distraction, but it didn't help me process stress, whereas
with music, more cathartic.
And creativity I found helped me process things. And also understanding what was going on in my body when I felt stressed. So probably my top tip would be to learn about physical stress response. So the things that start happening physically make a bit of sense, because sometimes that's the stuff that just feels horrible and you don't know why it's going on. So you can find out information on that stuff through Self-Esteem Team, like through our social media, on our website, which will all be linked below. And parents and teachers, if you want more information about the classes that we deliver, we have one in Stressed, then also click on the link and you can find out more about what we do. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.